qualifying. Viejo, one of his best qualifying rounds. David Fonseca winning 4 of the 5 events so far in that 4-stroke, and Buckaloo the winner in the other round. But it was Tane, Langston, Snell, and Tedesco that showed us a lot earlier.
Yeah, you would think the way that Buckaloo and Fonseca have really dominated the series so far, they'd pretty much run away with it. There they are, starting right next to each other. Remember, Phoenix, these guys got together in the first corner, and that ruined the series points lead for Buckaloo. But yeah, Langston, Schnell, especially with that 59-second lap time, Tane, those guys all stayed really close to these guys. You see Tane over there.
They've got one rider between them. That's Eric Viejo out of Mexico. And 38, of course, Justin Buckaloo. Number 25, Ernesto Fonseca on the 4-stroke.
Wonder if that makes Eric Kehoe, the team manager over there, nervous about these guys bumping elbows right off the gate and both getting bad starts.
If he does get nervous on this situation, he never shows it.
Yeah, he's pretty calm.
He's a cool customer. And Eric Kehoe has been through the 125 wars himself very successfully. He's the team manager of Yamaha of Troy now, as both Buckaloo and Fonseca going through their routines at the gate.
Tane to the inside of those guys, so you always think that if you get a better jump off the line or even the same and you're to the inside where Tane is right here, you control that corner. But he's got a lot of guys to the inside of him. David Pingree way down to the inside on those fast KTMs. If he gets out over the gate in that first 10 feet, goes well for him. He should be able to control the first corner. Last year, the first corner was a disaster for him at every race.
When the 30-second board goes sideways, they have 5 to 10 seconds, and that gate will drop. They have to time it just right with good reflex. It's sideways. They start revving up, and we're set now for the main event for the 125 West from Houston, Texas. Grant Langston. He gets the SFX.com hole shot. Boy, did he come ripping on that KTM.
Fonseca and Buckaloo did bump about halfway down the starting line. I can't believe they both saved it. They locked bars.
Ivan Tedesco has jumped into second place as they go into the short loops. Tedesco having trouble. Look out behind him.
There comes Fonseca poking his fender into the picture, but a good start for Tane.
Tane in third, battling with Fonseca. Fonseca makes the move. Fonseca in the whoops. Oh, look out. They got a squeeze going on as Tedesco is in front of Fonseca. Tane is to his left. Tane lets him go.
He's trying to get him back. Fonseca put a great block pass on him, going, okay, once and for all, I want this guy behind me. Tane is fighting. Look at him go.
Tane has just progressively improved race after race. And now he's able to show how competitive he really is.
Now you might see why they call Tedesco hot sauce, because there have been a few riders that have gotten together with this guy during the season and not come out on the better end of the deal. So he will fight for his position, and he's a little bit more inconsistent than the front runners normally are. He's all over the place, but he's aggressive.
But how about our leader? He's 4 seconds in front of this group right here.
Yeah, Tane right there is dropping back. Watch Fonseca. He doesn't follow. He's trying to do anything he can to get around Tedesco and stay clear of any problems Tedesco might cause for himself. See, he goes to the wall.
Tane goes down.
If Fonseca would have followed him to that inside, he'd been stuck there, and Tane would have been right back on him.
Number 42, Tedesco. And Tane battling it out now. 42 and 32.
Well, now Fonseca is wide open into second. He's got a long ways to go to Langston out front. He's got a big lead on these guys. He can focus now.
Let's check out that wreck again.
Now
there you see Tedesco, number 42.
Yeah, he goes up into the inside. Just got a little ahead of himself there. The front wheel wasn't set in that little rut. Went over it, washed out, and the fact that Fonseca wasn't following, he's able to get right by. Whoa! That could have been a problem.
Ernesto Fonseca in second place, trying to catch number 111, Grant Langston. Grant Langston has really done a fabulous job. Number 111, let's go down to Davey.
Well, let me tell you one reason Grant might be in such a hurry, Art. He's getting on a plane tomorrow from here in Houston, flying to Holland. He's going to race a 250 Grand Prix next week. He's never raced a 250
Fonseca the year before. That would be quite a feat for a young man who never had any training on a Supercross track, then went to the GPs and won the 125 Motocross World Championship in Europe last year.
Now he could sit and coach in a middle seat, and it wouldn't be so bad if he could pull off this win right here.
He certainly has a lot of heart, David.
And he's maintained his lead over Fonseca. There you see the gap, pretty much the entire loop section, and it's stayed that way the last couple of laps. Oh, Fonseca just took my eyes off the leader, and
Fonseca has to restart that engine. Oh, could this have ramifications in the points? Ernesto now is down and has to try and restart that engine.
his front wheel dropped into the last loop there. He went right over the bars, and look at all the riders going by. Watch this. Front wheel drops down here in a moment. It's a bad one.
And that rear wheel hits him right in the helmet.
Watch this angle. Hey, talk about if the front wheel gets down into one of these, what will happen? That's what happens, right over the handlebars. But the disaster isn't falling. He could have gotten up from that and almost still maintained second, but it's starting that bike. And it's not the problem so much with starting that 250F. Everyone else can start it. Ernesto's not that tall, so he doesn't get a good angle on that Kickstarter, which is longer than it is on a regular 125.
What an outstanding break for Grant Langston now in first place. He's had his first American podium in Anaheim, too. Third place, a second at Phoenix. We'll be back to see if he can take a checker.
How Australian Mick Burke eats a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
G'day. I eat a little bit now. I'll come back for the rest later.
There's no wrong way
Beauty.
to eat a Reese's.
The Ace Great Outdoor Sale. Everything to keep your outside looking great. Oh, and for you with teens, Ace carries coolers and lawn chairs, along with our full line of hoses. Ace is a place for outdoor living.
But baseball is marking time. This field, this game, it's part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good and could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
We're back with what EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Number 111, South African Grant Langston is having the race of his young Supercross career. He's got a considerable lead, putting KTM in a position of possibly winning their first American Supercross race. Langston's 18 years old. Like Greg Albertine, he left his home in South Africa to try the World GP circuit. He surprised several veteran onlookers when he captured the 125 GP World Motocross Championship last year. But unlike Albie, he didn't stay in Europe to collect more titles and move up to the 250 ranks. He came straight to the United States. With little or no Supercross experience, this series has been a total learning experience for this kid. Watching him ride right now, it's an understatement to say that he's a fast learner. This is only his 6th Supercross. He has dominated this main event. One of the big stories is the points race, though. The points leader, Fonseca, going down earlier, giving great opportunity to Buckaloo. Right now, it looks like Jason Buckaloo's having some problems.
Look at that, Fonseca, who was, it looked like a disaster, jumped right past his teammate. This is what happened. Right at the end of the whoops, spun out. I think he may have been trying to get a little bit to the inside of Tane, who was starting to close off the line he had. Lost his concentration and paid a big price. Now the points lead looks like it could still belong to Fonseca.
Net just snapped when the handlebars hit him in the face. He looked like he was semi-conscious when he got back on the bike, but he did, and he's right behind Fonseca. So they've got a ways to go. Fonseca now in 11th, Buckaloo in 12th.
Unbelievable. First and second in the points, crash in the same place. They're not even inside the top 10, and they're dicing amongst each other.
And Danny Smith is watching this TV telecast saying, oh, wow, why did I break that bone? I should be in there.
Yeah, he definitely would be in there. He's been solid. Robbie Skaggs having a problem. He's getting lapped. Langston has got such a lead now. It looks like he's got this thing. Color him gone. I don't see anyone catching him. Preston doing an awesome job in second. I don't think he's gaining fast enough to make a difference here.
Grant Langston, look at that on a Honda interval. Second place, Preston, number 40. Let's go down to Davey.
Well, I got to tell you what, Art, a KTM rider, of course, has never won an American Supercross race. Langston trying to ride into history, but check it out. The second place rider, Travis Preston, he's on a Husqvarna. We lost both of our points leaders, but check it out. Two European brands running 1 and 2 in an EA Sports 125 Supercross. Never happened before.
History in the making from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. So much history of Supercross has happened right here in the Dome. Langston, Preston, Payne, Tedesco, the top 4, with Schnell moving into the top 5. There you have Preston. He's coming off his best finish, a 9th at Anaheim 3 before the long break.
Noticed him right away this afternoon in practice. In fact, I couldn't remember who he was. I'm like, who the heck is number 40? That guy's flying. He's proving it right here.
Last year, he opened some eyes for the 3rd place at Phoenix. He actually got a whole shot in that race and led for the first 13 laps. You remember that, David?
Yep.
He had 2 other top 5 finishes last year, but poor Steinz have really killed him this year earlier in the season.
He's looking good. He's so tall, he's able to let that bike just kind of float up and down through the whoop, so that the rear wheel has to kick a lot higher before it starts to get into him and throw him up over the handlebar.
The only 2 riders to win a 125 West race are so far behind these 2. It'll be interesting to see. He's trying to hold on with mistake-free riding, and so is Preston, number 40. Langston has a 9.1-second lead on Preston. We've got 6 laps to go.
What a confidence builder now for Supercross for Langston, but as Davey said, he feels like he can win that 250 Grand Prix. This is just going to give him even more confidence. He won't even be tired when he gets there. He's still going to be riding high off of this win if he can keep it upright.
Let's see how Preston does in the whoops.
Fast.
He's picking up time on Langston in the whoops.
He is. I don't know if he's got enough time left. A lot to make up, but he's been running that left side all day. I don't think he's gone anywhere else, as a matter of fact.
The pass by Faraci Husqvarna.
I never thought I'd see the day, you know. European bikes dominated the sport in the late 60s, early 70s, but it's been a long time since we've seen European bikes have any kind of success against the powerful Japanese, the Big Four, and they are smoking them here, 1-2.
Meanwhile, our leader is back in 10th place, our points leader, number 25, Ernesto Fonseca.
Well, he's not made a whole lot of progress. He's only gone from 11th to 10th since we last mentioned him, but he's pulled away quite a bit from Buckaloo, who's dropped back to 13th.
Buckaloo, I think, is feeling the effects of that crash.
He may have bent something, and when he first got up, he was trying to hang with his teammate. Plus, he took a pretty good hit to the face, so this is the championship right here. You know, it could come down to this race for Buckaloo going, I had it, and let it slip away.
Can you believe it? A KTM and a Husqvarna. One of those bikes could win this 125 Western race. We'll be right back to see their progress after these important words. This is EA Sports Supercross.
Excuse me, I'm searching for a real man.
Perhaps he can be of assistance. He's so radical and extreme.
Surely he's not human.
Hey, Vern, isn't that the guy who stole your wife? What?
Motorsports, Supercross, it's in the game.
Look, it's rated E for everyone.
We gave it the power of 227 horses. We gave it the control of all-wheel drive. But the spirit of a 3-time World Rally champion, that it had to earn. Meet the turbocharged rally-bred Subaru WRX. That's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive.
Lee Trevino.
He was rough and he was tough, and they didn't feel like he would make a good PGA member.
Sports Century, the top 50 and beyond. Tonight at 8, only on ESPN Classic.
EA Sports Supercross has been brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 2001, get up to $400 worth of free accessories on selected models. By Speed Stick, presenting sponsor of EA Sports Supercross. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on 2 wheels. Performance first.
Grant Langston out of South Africa. Very little Supercross training, if any, before he came directly to America after winning the 125 GP Motocross Championship last year. He says, I want to learn Supercross. I want to get to the States as quickly as possible. He didn't wait like others like Sebastian Tortelli, Greg Albertine, etc., to win world championships in higher divisions before coming to America.
I think a lot of the guys in Europe that can win anything over there, you know, the opportunity to come over here, the road has been paved by so many riders before them. They want to get over here as quickly as possible, race with the best in the world. Supercross is where it's at, and he's got a pretty good head start over guys like Albertine that waited a little longer.
Langston. There you see his last lap time. It's slowed down considerably to a 1:03.
Hard. I watched him after the practice session earlier. He came in, sat in the stands, took his jersey off. That looks like a bodybuilder under there.
On the last lap, he did a 1:04 to a 1:03 from Preston, but Preston has to pick it up more than that or see a Grant Langston mistake before he's going to get a chance at those checkers.
So you see when he jumps that double into the corner, right at the end, he puts a little bit of finesse into it just to get that back in to clear that hump. That's the kind of stuff you see from riders like Jeremy McGrath or Travis Pastrana. He's starting to pick up those little things that make a big difference.
Boy, what's got to be going through his mind right now? That first victory right in front of his face. Less than 3 laps to go.
Feels good. That's a long flight to Europe after this, and like I said before, sitting in the middle said probably won't happen to him, but that flight won't be so bad. He'll be able to reflect on this and ride this wave for a while.
Maybe after a couple of sips of champagne on the top step.
I don't know if he can go that far. Well, he's actually picking up time on Preston now. The interval has grown to 13 seconds. And he's in cruise mode right now, so it would take a disaster for him to not slip away with this win.
Langston, as a close friend of the family. No, he is a part of the family. Andrew Langston. Andrew's been helping him during his American stay. There he is, leaning over, shouting at him, pointing. As the white flag comes out, 1 lap for Grant Langston and history.
Tell you what, you've got a South African in the lead, a Frenchman in third, 2 European manufacturers. They look like they're going to make the podium. What a wild main event here in Houston.
The diversity now is apparent in the 125s. KTM putting a factory team together for the first time this year with great support from Europe.
While he's cruising around and what looks like it's going to be an easy victory for him, Fonseca has climbed all the way back up to 6th place. Buckaloo is in 11th. Oh, Langston goes down.
Langston, after acknowledging the fans, goes down. And there's the Husqvarna. The Husqvarna passes him. So just when Grant Langston was thinking he had it revved up on the last lap, another surprise. Oh, my goodness. And Travis Preston is headed toward his very first victory and Husqvarna's first victory. Travis Preston, the checkers. Husqvarna, their first American Supercross win.
I'm not sure if Preston even realizes he won this thing. And Tane was able to get around Langston. Schnell snuck up in there somehow at the end while all this was going on, so Langston doesn't even finish on the podium after all that.
Fast by Faraci. They're jumping up and down tonight.
Preston's going, what? Did I win?
An exhausting battle, and there you see the pain of
That'll be
defeat.
the last time he ever waves to the crowd on the last lap.
Lost his focus, evidently. Let's check it again to see what happened to Grant Langston in tears.
Salutes to the crowd. You bet I got this thing. First time a KTM ever wins a main. My first win in a Supercross. Uh-oh, little short. Not saving that one. Face plant right into the berm, and
second time I can remember that the KTM has lost a race with about 100 yards to go.
yeah, he was paying attention to things other than that double jump, and that double jump is tricky. No matter how good you can clear that thing into the corner, you still clip a little bit of the top. You clip a little too much.
And it's going to be a long trip to Holland now for Grant Langston.
Yeah,
Langston will finish in a 4th.
The way things are going, he will be in the middle seat now.
Let's check out the final results of our 125 West race here. Sponsored by Suzuki. You've got Travis Preston on a Husqvarna, Greg Schnell, Roderick Tane on the box. Grant Langston, Ivan Tedesco with a very fine 5th place performance, and Ernesto Fonseca, the points leader, able to stay in front of Justin Buckalew. Fonseca with a 6th, Buckalew with a 9th. Let's go down to Davey.
I got to tell you, that is one of the craziest endings of a Supercross I've ever seen. But, man, you're in the record books. You're the first Husqvarna rider ever to win an EA Sports Supercross.
Yeah, Raldo just started with this thing like a couple years ago, and he's going all out, spending a lot of money, and it shows.
At the end of the race, we were watching you. You were catching Grant Langston. It looked like Grant had it in the bag. Did you even see him go down?
No, I didn't even see him go down. I didn't even know what place I was in. I know I was top 3, but I really didn't know. And I seen him down, so I just kept going.
Well, I tell you what, man, congratulations. Your first ever professional win. I know Eduardo Faraci is smiling somewhere back at the Husky truck.
Yeah, I can't wait. He owes me a lot of money.
Oh, there was a Husqvarna that has won here, believe it or not, in the Astrodome in 1974 in a 500 Supercross. It was Gary Semmick's right here in the Astrodome. The only other Supercross win by a Husqvarna in the history. As we take a look now, Fonseca by 20 points over Buckalew. But look at Tane. He's moved up to within 2 points of 2nd place in the points race. Langston in 5th, 35 points in back of the leader.
Well, Greg, it's been a crazy night. You've had a good night. You had the fastest lap time in the heat races, and then you came through all that carnage at the end to get 2nd.
Yeah, you know, I've been struggling on the starting gate tonight, but, you know, I just came through. I have a big heart, you know. I just want to win so bad, and even when I got a bad start, I just came through the pack, and I was picking up guys, you know, pretty good, and I almost went down a couple times, but I saved it, and I'm happy with 2nd place right now.
After a slow start, you ought to be, because I tell you, at the beginning of the year, we know that wasn't the Greg Schnell we saw last year.
Yeah, you know, I got hurt 2 weeks before the season and broke a couple ribs, and then I re-injured it at the first Anaheim round of the year. And I just, you know, kept pushing hard. You know, I couldn't ride during the week, and I couldn't train also, so, excuse me, it was tough. But finally, you know, I got a 3rd and a 2nd here tonight, and I'm happy with it.
Good job.
All I can say, once again, it's the Wild Wild West. Buckalew had the door open for him tonight.
He did. Fonseca crashing at the end of the whoops. He digs his way out of a disaster and actually padded his points lead over Buckalew, and Justin missed a golden opportunity there. Couldn't capitalize on the mistake by Ernesto.
So a winning Husqvarna for the first time in 125 Supercross history goes to the East-West Shootout in Las Vegas. You can see it live on pay-per-view coming up on the 5th. Art Ekman, thanks for being with us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
It's All-American on the world scene, while Supercross is starting to sound like some broken records.
Checkers for Ricky Carmichael. Ricky Carmichael who takes the checkers.
It's getting to be that time of year. That's why Motoworld is here. Hello again, everybody. Dave Reef, glad to be back on Motoworld TV. We've also got Jerry B crashing a party and an up-close look at an American road racing family. In keeping with that pavement theme, our top story has to do with road racing and the red, white, and blue. However, nothing to do with the racing family. In fact, the two Americans competing in the World Superbike Series couldn't be further apart. On one hand, you've got the laid-back Texan who's an established star on the world level after wrapping up his first championship in 2000. On the other hand, you've got the Generation Xer from California still searching for his first win on foreign soil. But on this past Sunday, these two men would have one very important thing in common. Round 2 of the World Superbike Championship was held in Kyalami, South Africa. Just like last year, defending champ Castrol Honda's Colin Edwards took a dominating victory, setting a new lap record in race 1. Beautiful conditions with warm temperatures made for a fast track, as the course record was shattered not once, but twice. Off the start, Troy Bayliss grabbed the early lead, but he could only grasp it for a moment as Edwards would first pass Troy Corser on the opening lap, then slip by the Ducati rider on lap 3 and into first. Position he would never relinquish. The top 4 would stay the same throughout much of the race, with some dicing back and forth between positions. The riders able to maintain their spots on the track till the finish. A remarkably safe race, with the only riders going down being Yamaha's Juan Pora and Ducati's Neil Hodgson. Unfortunately for Hodgson, it was identical to his finish in round 1 in Valencia. So Hodgson, the former British Superbike champ, proves unable to take any points in the first 2 rounds of the season. At the stripe, Edwards would take his first victory of the year by 1.7 seconds ahead of second. Bayliss would finish in the runner-up spot as Troy Corser took third, with Edwards' fellow American and pole sitter Ben Bostrom riding consistently to fourth.
We're going for the second one, obviously. I mean, we got the setup, we got the bike set up. We got the tires, so we just got to get out, hopefully get a better start, kind of mess the start up a little bit. If we can get a good start and go, then yeah, I'm really confident.
In race 2, it was American Ben Bostrom who showed his confidence in himself and his team. Between races, Bostrom took a bit of risk, changing a few settings on his bike. His gamble worked to spectacular results. Out of the gate, the Ducati machine of Bostrom set a blistering pace, shattering the race 1 record that Colin Edwards had set earlier that day. Bostrom would lead most of the race and was only challenged when, with a third of the laps left, Edwards made his move and took over the lead. But he couldn't hold on to the checkers. The RC51's engine failed, causing him to relinquish the lead back to Bostrom. Edwards' day would end with his bike in the pits and a DNF for his efforts. It's now evident that the RC51 is suffering some form of sophomore jinx, especially after debuting last year in such a spectacular fashion. Not only did Edwards DNF in race 2, but also his teammate Tadayuka Okada DNF in both races. Honda will be busy working out the kinks with round 3 in Phillips Island only 3 weeks away. With Bostrom's win in race 2, the Americans make a clean sweep in South Africa.
I figured that there's no way I want to finish 4th again, and it's certainly possible to finish 4th with the company we're in, so we just made a change with gearing and setup and shock, and it worked out for the better.
The two Troys, Bayliss and Corser, would find themselves 2nd and 3rd, identical spots to race 1. In at number 4 was Neil Hodgson, who regrouped and finally got some points on the season as Ruben Zaus rounds out the top 5. After 2 rounds, the points have Corser on top with 82 thanks to 2 wins. Bayliss is 2nd with 80. Ben Bostrom riding very consistently is in 3rd, 54 points thanks to 1 win. Congratulations to Ben Bostrom on his first win overseas and to the champ Colin Edwards on his 14th. And that segues us into our MotorcycleWorld.com poll question of the week. Which one of these road racing series do you think is the most competitive? AMA Superbike, World Superbike, 500 GP, 250 GP, or the AMA 600 Supersport? Now keep in mind, 3 of the 5 titleists in these series are Americans. We'll have results from last week's poll a little later on in the show, where we've also got Ricky Carmichael's continuing quest at Supercross immortality. But up next, could Nathan Ramsey derail the Travis Pastrana freight train? Find out when Motorworld's back on track in just a moment.
Speak your name, and honey, you'll always be the only one. from just $1 a day. Falling in love with a Yamaha V-Star has never been easier.
You might think all alarm clock radios are the same, but when the power goes out, only one alarm clock radio is smart enough to reset itself to the exact right time every time. The Smart Set from Emerson Research. Now you'll never have to set your alarm clock again, because the Smart Set will always automatically set itself to the correct time, day, date, month, and alarm settings, no matter how long the power has been out. The Smart Set has all the features you want, including a built-in AM/FM radio, and his and her alarm settings that can each be set from Monday through Friday, weekends only, or one setting for every day of the week. Alarm clock radio that will automatically set itself right out of the box, so you know it's always the right time. It even resets itself for daylight savings time and leap year.
That's smart.
All alarm clock radios are not created equal. With the Smart Set from Emerson, you'll never have to set your alarm clock again. Here's how to order yours now. To order your Smart Set, just call this toll-free number. Order a Smart Set for every room in your house and you'll never have to set a clock again. Smart Set comes with a 30-day guarantee. Don't wait. Call and order the Smart Set now.
It's time for Suzuki Fest 2001, Suzuki's main sales event. This Suzuki Fest is the biggest ever, with over 20 different motorcycles and ATVs to choose from. Right now, get up to $300 in your choice of free accessories when you buy select Suzuki ATVs, dual sport, or off-road motorcycles. Choose from jackets, winches, backpacks, anything you want, plus get great financing too. Go to your participating Suzuki dealer by April 30th and come out riding.
Motoworld, brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 2001, get up to $400 worth of free accessories on selected models by Motorworld.com and MotorcycleWorld.com. Joining forces to offer you the best and most popular internet destination on the planet. Come ride the web. And by Yamaha, makers of fine motorcycles and ATVs. Nobody's more in tune with motorsports than Yamaha.
Nathan Ramsey came into St. Louis, Missouri with the objective of slowing down Travis Pastrana and a Suzuki after their recent domination in the East. A goal accomplished for 14 of the 15 laps. What about the money lap? The East Coast Series got back on track after a week off, and out of the gate was Kelly Smith on his KTM with the whole shot. Nathan Ramsey got a good start in third, while his Yamaha of Troy teammate Nick Way went down in the first turn. Series points leader Travis Pastrana was slow off the line, started in 8th. As Smith held off the YZ250F, Pastrana was reeling in riders ahead of him. He made this nice pass on Talon Bolin to move into the top 5. Number 199 then set his sights on Travis Elliott and Ben Riddle. With the intense battle going on up front, Travis moved into third and focused on the leaders. Smith and Ramsey diced back and forth, but in the end, the Yamaha was too much for the KTM. Pastrana would be the next to put the moves on Smith as he went flying by and landed in second place. With the only 2 riders to win on the East Coast circuit running 1-2, it was a classic battle between the fastest bike and the fastest rider. Travis pressured Ramsey, and it paid off when the Yamaha of Troy rider missed a triple, allowing Pastrana to clamp onto his back wheel. It would go to the final lap as Travis went bar to bar.
Pastrana block pass. The crowd goes crazy.
Another checkers for Travis, and with just 1 round to go, barring disaster, the 17-year-old kid is on his way to a second professional title.
Well, I always think I have a chance, and I'm always going to push to the finish, but I didn't really know. Nathan's a great rider, and even on the last lap, I'm like, wow, you know, he's flying. I wonder where this might be able to make a pass.
Pastrana wins for the 5th time in 6 races as Ramsey holds on to second. Smith has his best finish of the year in third. Bolin just misses in 4th, and Gosler follows up Husky's first ever 125 win with a 5th place finish. With an 11-point lead and just 1 race to go, Pastrana is in command. Ramsey moves into second place, taking a 4-point lead over Mike Brown. Nick Way and Talon Bolin round out the top 5. Pastrana takes his 11-point lead into the final East Coast round this Saturday night in Pontiac, Michigan. And speaking of the Team Suzuki star, he kicks off this edition of RaceWire. In St. Louis, TP qualifying for the 250 main, but would elect to sit out citing fatigue after the intense 125 battle with Nathan Ramsey. In other Suzuki news, it is rumored that former motocross champion Jean-Michel Bayle is considering coming out of retirement and riding for Roger DeCoster's squad during the 250 Nationals this summer. Mad Mike Jones has a chance to show off in front of tens of thousands of fans as the freestyler will perform exhibition jumps at 2 of the remaining Supercross rounds. You can catch his high-flying antics this Saturday in Pontiac, Michigan, and again in Las Vegas, Nevada on May 5th. In road racing news, Scott Russell has returned home and seems to be in good spirits after his March 11th crash in Daytona. The other In that March crash, Richie Morris, who hit Russell and his stalled Ducati head-on, is at home as well. However, there are concerns about whether or not Morris will ever regain full use of his injured arm. More surgery is expected. Kenny Roberts Sr., owner and operator of Team Care in the World GP Series, announced he is throwing his backing behind American World Speedway racer Billy Hamill. Hamill won the world title back in 1996 and is currently ranked #2 heading into the new season, which kicks off May 5th in Germany. Former motorcycle drag racer turned team owner Terry Vance has been honored by the NHRA sanctioning body with his inclusion into their list of the top 50 NHRA drivers of all time. Vance had 29 national event wins in his 12-year career. His 101-21 career round record in pro stock bike eliminations rank among the sport's best, regardless of class. And finally, according to the LA Times, the man listed as the leading suspect in the Mickey Thompson murder case, Supercross founder Mike Goodwin, will testify before a grand jury this month. Mickey Thompson and his wife Trudy were slain in their driveway as the couple left for work back in 1988. Goodwin was Mickey Thompson's former business partner who had to file bankruptcy after losing a $531,000 legal battle to Thompson. Looking for more motorcycle news from around the globe? Then get on your computer and log on to Motoworld.com. Another reason to log on, your chance at having your question answered right here on the air, thanks to the Motoworld.com mailbag. All you have to do is send an email to the editor at Motoworld.com. Put Motorworld TV as your subject and ask away. This week's question comes from Jessica, and she wants to know when and where the AirMX series stops in the near future. She also asked about local freestyle tracks to ride for fun. Well, Jessica, we went right to the source for your answer. Here is AirMX Challenge track designer and builder, Brian Manley, with your answer.
There are no existing freestyle events or facilities open to the public right now. So within 6 months, we anticipate having freestyle facilities open to the public and to the pros in a local Southern California region. And the goal is to expand that throughout the United States.
Thanks, Brian, and I'll answer the rest of your question with a look at some of the upcoming dates and venues of the AirMX Challenge. If you live near one of these cities, then be sure to go out and watch the best freestylers in the world compete. Thanks, Jessica, and keep those questions coming on in. It's time now to look at this week's Yamaha scoreboard as Motorworld moves forward. At round 2 of the World Motocross Series held in Valkensvoorde, the Netherlands, it was an all-Belgium podium in the 500 class. Defending series champion Joel Smets beat out Stefan Everts and Marnique Bervoets. With 12 rounds left, Everts holds the points lead by 4 over Smets, with Bervoets 16 points behind the leader. With 7 laps left in the 250 race, Mikhail Pichon passed Gordon Crockett and held on for the win. Defending World 125 champ Grant Langston, competing in America this season, came back for a one-off and finished 17th. With 2 wins in 2 rounds, Pichon sits 21 points ahead of Crockett. And in the 125 men event, local favorite Eric Eggins took the win ahead of James Dobb. Title contender Alessio Chiotti finished 9th, with American Scott Sheik 1 position behind the Italian. Despite his runner-up finish, Dobb holds a 19-point lead over Steve Ramone, with Sheik back in 8th. Stateside, it was more of the same in the National Enduro Series as Mike Lafferty won for the 4th time. Randy Hawkins placed 4th and now sits 63 points in back of the 3-time champion with 5 rounds remaining. Lafferty with a perfect score on the season. And over in Idaho, it was 1999 Hare and Hound champion Brian Brown riding his Kawasaki to the win as 4 of the top 5 positions were green machines. In the points, Brown has latched onto the series leader and the defending champ Destry Abbott after 2 rounds. Up next, Jerry Bernardo parties with Team Suzuki's GP effort. Stay with us.
It's here, waiting for you. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It builds confidence and reshapes your body. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym in one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks.